Okay, our voyage has begun. So it is Tuesday of week 4. For Monday, I did my little nature trail walk. That turned into like a whole thing, and so that's going to be its own entire vlog because I sort of had the selfie stick, and so you can like see the forest in the background behind me for most of it. I thought it was pretty relaxing, even though the subject matter might be a little triggering, but that vlog is going to be separate, and there will be a link in the description for you to check that out if you want just like a nice forest tour. Today though, that rust trial ended up being just shocking in a bizarre, just such a bizarre way. So the weapons expert that the defense brought in, so Hannah Gutierrez Reed, her team brought in this guy who, he's had just objectively a remarkably interesting life. It's like he's had a bunch of different careers, and like it's almost like he's lived 5 lives in one lifetime. Really cool. And I agree with the commentary I was listening to on Emily D. Baker's channel. He'd be amazing to like take a history class from, or if he were doing a tour of some sort of like 18th century Americana battlefield, or talking about like the Wild West and how the guns worked and how they were used and whatnot. But I swear to fucking God, it was just incredible. So he got up on the stand, and when he was asked to take out a replica gun that was capable of shooting and a replica gun that was incapable of shooting, I think that's what it was, he like pulled the gun out, and he didn't have his finger on the trigger, but he like just has it out and is just waving it and pointing it and like showing it in different positions, being like, this is the gun. And the judge fucking went into him, and she was like, you have not proven that gun is unloaded, because it wasn't pre-checked by the court deputies or the bailiffs or anything. It's like they took his bag when he entered the courtroom, and then they gave it back to him, and part of his opening testimony was supposed to be showing a safe gun check to prove that it's unloaded and there's nothing in it, that it's incapable of firing a projectile. And so when he's just not before pre-gun check, like he's showing the gun and it's pointing in different directions, and that's when the judge just let him have it. And then when the prosecution obviously came up and approached the bench so that they could all be like, what the fuck? While the guy is like really antsy and nervous, and I felt kind of bad for him, but at the same time it's like, sir, you're in court, you're here trying to like help that young lady 40 feet away from you or 30 feet away from you, like what the fuck are you doing? She was pissed, and rightfully so, because anyway, what he did while he's like killing time and nervous and antsy, he fucking points the gun barrel while he's like holding the gun and trying to show the bailiff like it's fine, like here's the gun, my finger's not on the trigger, and the barrel points right towards the judge, and that judge saw it, and she was pissed. Oh my God, I have never seen anything like this, and it was just so awkward. And and then his testimony, I haven't finished his testimony. I had to pause on his direct examination once it finally got going. But once he finally started, like once he finally got through the gun check to show like the one that is capable of firing has no projectiles in it, nothing at all in it, and then popped the cylinder back in because he took the cylinder out to show. Oh my God, I forgot another thing. He handed the cylinder to the court deputy and asked him to show the jury that it was empty and unloaded. And he was like, is that okay? And the defense attorney was like, well, I don't know. It's up to the judge. It's up to the court. And the judge was like, no, he may not. He is not a part of this. He is not a witness about the deputy. Sort of like no. Like, because he was asking the deputy to show the jury for him, and she was like, no, he may not do that. Not mad at the deputy. Again, mad at the expert witness who was just having the worst day of his life, probably. Or worst professional day of his life, most likely. And that was when he got scolded again by the judge. That was when Hannah Gutierrez Reed was just, she had this look in her face of just absolute, what the fuck is happening? And it was like a mixture of being confounded and just so fucking pissed. So pissed. And I honestly felt really sorry for her. And in that moment, I know for some people, they're gonna argue that that's karma. Cause, you know, like you were sloppy with your gun checks on the set. And so now here, your gun expert at your trial is just an absolute disaster. Some would say that's karma in a weird, like in a mild way. Not full karma, but like a sprinkle of karma. A sprinkling of more sabotaging shit. Just lying in wait over the rest of her life. I know some people feel that way. I don't necessarily agree with that. But wow. Wow, wow, wow. Literally like some Wild West shit going, some Wild West gunslinging shit in this courtroom. And the judge, who I really think that she's just been bored for most of this. Well, having a gun that has not been proven to be clear pointed at your head in court when you're the judge, that'll wake a bitch up. Not calling her a bitch, I'm just using bitch colloquially, as in like any old person. Anyone. That'll wake up anyone to suddenly have a gun pointed at your head. Hello world, it is Thursday, my cardio day. I've got my usual like workout drinks. So for post-recovery, today we've got avocardio, protein and collagen, and my during the workout, just my purple Starbucks cup with the straw. I know, technically Planet Fitness does not allow snap-on lids, but I'm always pretty careful, and so don't rat me out. I've got something super exciting today that I'm going to be trying out. It's from this company called Briotech. It's a hypochlorous acid spray, and so I watch Dr. Dre. She's one of my favorite dermatologists on YouTube, probably my favorite, and she recommended a product like this. I don't remember if it's the exact same brand or not. So she recommended using it as a topical spray post-workout on areas where you're prone to getting triggered by your own sweat, like getting a contact dermatitis reaction. And if you've been watching any of my vlogs, then you know that I've been struggling for weeks now with contact dermatitis around my entire neck and throat area. And the initial trigger, I am quite certain for that, was using Hawaiian Tropic sunscreen as my like daily throat and back of neck sunscreen. I think it started as a fragrance allergy, and it's healing so slowly because I think that my sweat keeps like re-triggering it. So it's just been really hard to get rid of this bastard, you know, because I don't want to take like a whole week or 2 weeks off from the gym, even though I really think if I did that, my neck would clear up right away. But in the meantime, I have high hopes. This is going to be, I tested it out the other day and it was actually pretty soothing, but this is going to be my first time using it as a post-workout treatment. This was a little bit expensive. I mean, it was like $15 for 8 fluid ounces, but if I like this, like if I get through the whole bottle and I find that it's just amazing and I love it, they have these larger refill bottles. It's like a liter. the refill size, and on a per ounce basis, it's much cheaper than rebuying a whole 8 ounce with the spray applicator. I don't really have a lot on my mind today though. You know, definitely my mental state, way better than last week. I know Monday was still a little bit in the weeds, just a tiny bit, but this week has felt so much lighter, just so much less, I don't know, so much less heavy, so much less suffocating. It's just even felt lighter and easier just to breathe. And so that's why sometimes when the cloud is coming to get you, you just gotta keep chugging, keep on swimming.
The day I first met you, you told me you'd never fall in love, but now
the rock reinvention album that Demi Lovato did of all of her biggest hits is amazing. It is still one of my favorite albums to come out in the last year or two. And I'm so happy for her. You know, there are some times where I've thought like some things that she's done or said have been a little bit annoying, or just kind of like, what? Like, are you okay? Like the whole singing to the aliens and the ghosts era, that was a little much. But overall, I'm just always rooting for her and just really want her to thrive. I think she deserves it. Looks like it is just a Demi sort of day. If I ever did that, I think I'd have a heart attack. Never put my love out on the line. Never said yes to the right guy. Okay guys, I will end your suffering. I have made it to Planet Fitness and I am feeling like I'm in a great mood thanks to Demi. Thank you, Miss Demi. And yeah, let's just get it. Okay guys, well there's an unexpected variable in the mix today. I forgot my headphones. No music today. Gosh, I'm like actually kind of tempted to go to Ollie's. There's an Ollie's like right next door. Maybe they have some like $5 or $10 just like cheap buds. Okay guys, the saga continues. So at Ollie's for $8, I ended up doing it. I got these true wireless earbuds from Iconcepts, like Icon Concepts, but smushed together, Iconcepts. So I'm sure that these need a little bit of a charge before their first use. That's how important music is to me though, especially when it's like cardio stuff. I just can't, it's not gonna happen without. So I don't need much battery. I just need enough to get up and running, but oh Lord. I guess that after the gym, I'll also be having a little bit of a product review on these. Watch them be absolutely amazing for the price, and that would be funny. That would be funny if it's like it literally costs Apple like $5 to make a pair of AirPods. Now, I can already tell there's less robustness to the USB-C. But I can already tell there's less in the user experience quality, like the feel of the plastics. But let me turn on the car, and I can already tell that I think that the buds themselves are already getting a charge. But let me get them some juice. But let me get them some extra juice. And how funny is that? Imagine if they are, like, minus the noise canceling, imagine if they are almost as good as the AirPods. Now, I doubt it, because if you remember back in the day when you would get the gummy buds that would plug into the auxiliary port, those were such crap, but, you know, they were so cheap. And that was a risk back in the day. Even nice headphones and earbuds, they could still break on you. They could still have problems. So there was an appeal to the gummy buds that were like, what? Same price, like $7, but that was like $7 from Walmart, not even from Ollie's. So I'm probably gonna leave these in the car, you know, as my ultimate backup pair. So when I was in Ollie's, I found this huge chunker. Oh my God, look at that. It's a Wonder Woman collectible from the New 52 era. And that was honestly not my favorite era, but said that when this first came out, it had a price of $125. And this was $28. And it has issues 0 through 18 of that New 52 Wonder Woman run, plus 50 pages of, I guess, like behind the scenes artwork. You know, when they were like concept sketching how they were gonna do this new Wonder Woman run. And so I'm definitely gonna add that to my Wonder Woman collection. I know it kind of goes against my budgeted living, but there are some things where if they really are important to you, like it's not like someone who really doesn't give a shit about food being nice, or a nice eating out dining experience. I know for some people that is valuable and adds to their life. For them, that makes sense. For me, that adds nothing to my happiness or quality of life. So it would make no sense for me to go into a restaurant and spend $28 or more on a single meal. For me, that would be just an absolute waste of time, a waste of money. This is something that is going to add even just like a little bit of happiness to my life every time I see it. Now, if you are still in the grip of a severe shopping addiction, then obviously, you know, you want to sort of like go cold turkey for a little bit other than the essentials. But when you do have things under control and you do have a budget that you're sticking to, you can still, within that budget, leave a little bit of discretion for personal happiness. You know what I mean? And so I do not feel bad because this is not destroying my budget. This is well within... Oh, I see on the back it does say the $125 US, $163 Canadian. So we're gonna call that a good deal. You know, I never really got into the New 52 that much. DC, well, all the comic houses on the comic side have been kind of confusing and confounding, because it's like every few years it feels like the universe gets, the whole multiverse of this comic house gets reset, and then a few years later it's like Marvel gets reset. And so I really have a hard time following. You know, it's hard to be a casual fan these days, because it's like, oh my God, wait, they reset the universe again? So it's like I have to relearn all of the lore again. It makes it kind of hard. One thing that was big about the New 52 run, though, even though it did kind of fizzle out and they ended up doing Rebirth, what, like within 4 or 5 years of New 52? New 52 did not last long. But they were at least experimenting with new concepts and new ideas. Like this was the run that changed the mythology of Wonder Woman and made her an actual demigod. So in a lot of the prior eras, and I think that they might have gone back to this dynamic, she's either just an exceptionally gifted Amazon, or she's bestowed godly abilities by either the female pantheon of Greek goddesses or the whole pantheon, and is chosen as a champion who will have the gifts of all the gods. This New 52 was the first time that I know of where for an extended era, an extended run, the canon was that she was the daughter of Zeus. So if you follow the DC movies, even though by the time the movies came out, they had actually reset the universe again on the comic side to the Rebirth era, where I think her canon actually went back to just being a standout Amazon princess who is given gifts by the gods via like divinity, divine magic. Even though that had changed back, for the movies, they stuck with the daughter of Zeus storyline. But that whole daughter of Zeus thing, it all stems back from New 52. This thing is a chonker. This is kind of heavy. But, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna sign off again, wait for these little buds to get more charge, and then then we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. Okay guys, moment of truth. How are the eye concept little buds from Ollie's? They were pretty bad. Whoa. That was pretty rough, not gonna lie. But you know what? For $8, it's nice to have a backup. This is the first time since starting my journey that I've actually completely forgotten my headphones, so chances are it's gonna happen again. It's nice to have a backup. But holy shit, it was like listening it was like listening to a recording of a song. I mean, pretty rough. But I'm trying that Briotech, the hypochlorous acid spray, so just gonna do it all around my neck. Oh, it feels fresh. It smells just a tiny little bit like bleach, but it's not gonna bleach your clothes or anything. If you've ever tried hydrogel, you know, like for your pet, like the real one. Oh, there's like a little kitty out there. Speaking of pets. Oh God, I think it's a boy cat. I'm 95% sure it just marked a bush, you know, like spraying. Oh God, and it's dirty too. That's definitely a feral cat. Hey buddy. Oh God, it's really old. Well, the old chap has made it this far. I'm sure he'll stay strong. And you never know, like, it's possible that a store is leaving food out for him. So, you know, like sometimes stores unofficially adopt pets, and so they'll just sort of leave out food and water. You never know. You know, one thing that I realized when I was walking on the treadmill, have you ever really loved a song and then a few weeks into like listening to it, you finally catch a lyric that you hadn't noticed or hadn't heard, and you're like, what? What am I listening to? Excuse me, ma'am, Miss Tovlo, can you repeat that, please? So, it's her song Elevator Eyes. That song is just so slow and sexy and hot. I really love to do slow pace hill walks with it. So like a 2.5 pace, but like a 4 or a 5 or even higher incline, and just going slow and steady and feeling the rhythm of that song in you. And it's so seductive. It makes you feel like your walk is just so, I don't know, not sensual, but just so powerful. But one of the verses, I finally heard it, like really internalized it and heard it for the first time, and I was just like, I cannot believe what I'm hearing. The lyric is, go get a rubber. Like, I can't remember the lyric actually, but the message of the that verse, that section of the lyrics was, go get a rubber. Wait, never mind, I'm gonna risk it all. Let's fuck in the hot tub. The heat of the water is gonna kill your sperm anyway, so we're gonna take a chance. Like, what? Oh! God, some of the sounds that I make just... Oh, it was kind of sad though. There was a raccoon. But it was not compacted down yet. You know, like once they get run over a couple dozen times, they're just like flat as a pancake. This one was still fresh, and so it was nice and plump. It was huge, and so that's why it just entered my field of view, and I was like, ah. There was a day when I had already been walking a good bit and done some cycling, and I was going to try out the Strider machine, and I just hopped right on, and I just took a few steps, and my knees were literally wobbling, and I just hopped right off. I was like, nope. I'm not, even for the sake of my ego or pride, I'm not going to force myself to do like 5 or 10 minutes of it, just, in case someone watched me just hop on. I was like, fuck no. You know, if literally within 5 seconds my knees are already wobbling, what is even the point of doing this? It seems more counterintuitive at this point. So I'm a firm believer in, you know, don't worry about what other people are thinking or observing or have going on. You know, you have to do what's right for you. At the end of the day, you know, fuck all these other people. Okay, made it home. Tomorrow's Friday. Let's end the week strong. Hope you're having a good week. Let's do it. It's Friday, y'all. Woo! We made it. We did it. So I actually hit 2 milestones today. I mean, it's sort of the same milestone, just different time frames. I'm down 10 pounds since I started this channel, but I'm down 25 pounds since Christmas of 2023. Woo! When I was super depressed, I had a really bad habit of picking my KP, my keratosis pilaris, chicken skin, more colloquially, or it's more colloquially known as chicken skin. It's like when your follicles get those little slightly dark red bumps, or they can look like little mini whiteheads. I would like pick the shit out of them. I would get all of that protein gunk out, and so my arms are covered in total across my arms hundreds of these darkened patches from when I would just scratch and rip all the shit off. And so I'm working on that, like, you know, I'm making sure that my arms are protected against the sun during the day, and I've started doing, you know, like retinol body lotion treatments on my arms to hopefully help even out the skin tone over time. I might experiment with other things, but, you know, I'll have a video on that at some point. I have a lot of self-harm scratches on my arms that I want to fade the best that I can. You know, lasers and surgeries, that's not within my budget. It's not possible, but I'm gonna do the best that I can through lifestyle to fade them. Okay, y'all, Friday is finished. Woo! I basically sweat through this neon yellow shirt, so I'm in my backup shirt. But let me wipe off my lip moisturizer. God, because one thing I've noticed, my lip moisturizer will literally like leave this sticky film on my blender bottle. It's easier to get it off of the straws, but on the blender bottle, it is so hard to get it off of. Okay. Okay, so we got protein and collagen down the hatch. Now let's do my little Briotech hypochlorous acid spray. Hopefully that'll reduce some of the dermatitis. It does feel very good. The only thing about that, though, it's not a bad thing, but just something that I noticed. If you've ever used that zero odor product, it's like a spray product that claims to destroy odors by molecularly changing it. Sorry, that's just a hard word for me to say. Molecularly changing odor molecules into inert, smaller particles or whatever. Smells the exact same as that. I'm pretty sure zero odor does use hypochlorous acid, just in a smaller, in a higher percentage or a higher concentration. Because that light bleach, but not quite bleach scent, so similar. Ooh, I saw a cop in stealth mode. I'm really good at that. At picking them out and sort of knowing, like, okay, out of the corner of my eye, if a cop were gonna be in any place, like, it would be right there. And every now and then, boom, there is one right there. I don't have one of those radar detectors even though I have done a lot of speeding on interstates and highways and even around town in my life, but I just, I don't know, I have that hypervigilant eye where I can, I can usually guess, like if a cop were gonna be perched somewhere, they'd be right there. So let me slow down for this little patch and then I'll get back up to my cruising velocity. Oh, I never talked to you guys about how the Rust trial finished. So she did get convicted of involuntary manslaughter, Hannah Gutierrez. She faces up to 18 months. One thing that I was actually really outraged by was when they were like getting ready to schedule her sentencing. So the prosecutor said that she could be pretty flexible except for 2 weeks in May when she has her vacation. So that's what she said. Hannah's own attorney. Now, I'm gonna rant about this some other time. I'm gonna rant about this after I eat dinner. But Hannah's own attorney misheard the prosecutor and thought that the prosecutor was saying that she wanted to do the sentencing in May. And so instead of speaking up and being like, no, like we can't wait until then, you know, like what's done is done, let's get this shit over with. Now, I don't know, I'm not an attorney, obviously. I'm sure there's some strategy involved, like maybe pushing sentencing back is actually beneficial in the sense that maybe you can get your appeal in and then things will, you know, have to like, and then you'll have a shot at your appeal before you start a sentence. But the thing is, she was remanded after her conviction, which means that now, pending sentencing, she's going to spend all of her time in jail. So, and just realistically, there are some things about the trial that were a little bit janky, but all in all, there is no chance of appeal on the involuntary manslaughter charge. Not a shot in hell. And so if I were her, I really would feel like I just want to get sentenced and start that and get it over with ASAP. Now, chances are that she's going to get credit for time served while she's waiting, but I don't know. There was just something about it that didn't sit right with me. You know, she was told that she was remanded, and then they're talking about a sentencing date, and her attorney's like, oh, like, May works great for me. And I'm like, that's not what Carrie just said, the prosecutor. She said that the 2 weeks in May, in the middle of May, are when she's not free. But presumably that's when she's taking her like summer vacation or something like that. Or maybe she has a locked-in trial for those full 2 weeks. But the guy was just, the judge too was confused because she's like, well, like, you know, we can do sooner. She actually said, like, do you have anything available in March? And he said, well, you know, I could do April. And the judge was just like, I don't know. I got a sense that even the judge was like, oh my God, you're going to let your own client just rot in jail, like pending sentencing. I got that feeling that the judge was like, I got the sense that the judge was like, okay, like, I want to get this moving. I don't want this to like linger forever. I want to get her sentenced so she can like start that process ASAP. Let's make sure that we try to get it done in March. And her own attorney's like, oh yeah, April works. The guy, oh my God, Mr. Bowles, the defense attorney. I think Hannah Gutierrez Reed would have been better off with a public defender. This was a paid, someone that she paid for. And I think that he honestly is one of the weakest, most ineffective defense attorneys I've ever seen. It's like he couldn't even pretend to be fired up and passionate for his own client. He sounded like Do you remember in the day, like back in high school or college or whenever in school, when, you know, you would do presentations and there were people who just had this intuitiveness with their presentation skills where they might have key highlights or keywords on their notes to remind them of what they're supposed to talk about and the roadmap of what to talk about. But for the most part, it's like a very conversational, compelling, passionate style. He was the equivalent of especially in closing, of the person who's like reading a pre-written line by line annotated notation and occasionally looking up to like make sure that they make that obligatory eye contact, but for the most part being like, and not even reading fluidly, being like if I'm reading this lens wipe, gentle and thorough cleaning of high quality lenses, quick and easy to use, lightly brush away dust and dirt with the folded wipe, unfold and gently clean the surface using circular movements until it's clean and dry. That was his presentation style versus someone being like, this is an amazing wipe that you need to integrate into your routine. If you have eyewear or other devices or anything that tends to get smudges on it, like lenses, especially on cameras or other sensitive electronics, it's incredibly gentle. And I find this to be the best solution, especially for lens cleaning on the go. If you're a videographer or a photographer, there's really no limit to the number of uses and the overall utility of this product. I cannot recommend it enough. You need to try this. Now I'm not trying to say that I'm like an amazing presenter or something, but there's an element of fake it till ya make it. And this man, I don't know if the checks stopped clearing or if at some point he switched to pro bono and he was like, sorry ma'am, enthusiasm costs an extra $100 an hour. You're getting my discounted rate, so you're gonna get low, like minimum acceptable energy. That's what you get. That's why I think she would have been better off risking a public defender. I think that sometimes public defenders get a bad rap, but like, they're not all inexperienced or I'm trying to remember the movie where there was like a public defender who, he had like a really great education in the movie, but then when he got up to start speaking, he had a speech impediment and severe anxiety, and so he couldn't even communicate effectively. I think there's like a stereotype of that with public defenders, but like, there are really great public defenders out there who are doing this work on principle because they're very principled individuals and they believe in that function of the justice system to counterbalance the power that the state has. I don't know. That's where I think sometimes you do just have to have a little bit of faith in the skill and the passion of people who have chosen to be public defenders. She would have been, I can guarantee you, I don't care who is on the payroll in New Mexico, in that county, at the public defender's office, Hannah Gutierrez Reed would have been 5 times better off with any public defender from that county versus the representation she got from Mr. Bowles. I'm not even sorry to say that. Even as a non-attorney, I just, on that enthusiasm and presentation skill level, Mr. Bowles should be ashamed of himself. I don't think that he could have won this even with better presentation skills, but regardless of how unwinnable the case seems, you're there as her zealous advocate. Sip some coffee, or I don't know, like take a Crystal Light plus caffeine, take a vitamin B12 pill, get some pep in your step. You're fighting for this chick. Do your job. So enough of my rant. I'm sure little blips of that'll sprinkle in as I think back on it next week, but oh my god, that was just such an interesting trial. But Mr. Bull, I mean, there was disappointment on both sides. There were times when the prosecutor, I forgot her last name, it's like Montessori or something like that. I've just been calling her Carrie because Emily D. Baker started calling her Carrie. But that trial was a little bit of a shit show, but Mr. Bowles just disappointed me most of all because he just flopped over and just his heart was not in it. And if your heart's not in it, then you shouldn't be doing it. Anyway, I'm gonna go eat now, and then I'm looking forward to starting editing and recording some other stuff. Have a great weekend. I'll see you in week 5. Bye.